What's up, fam? Welcome back to Harry Plays here. And today we're going to be talking about Gen 5 once again. With the new Legends ZA announcement, which I've been talking about for the past couple of videos, so check them out if you're interested. I'm going to kind of stay away from that. It will be mentioned, but I'm going to stay away from that. Today we're going to be talking about why Gen 5 wasn't done and why they skipped to Gen 6. There could be a lot of reasons, but I'm going to break down some of the reasons I think. Some of these are like kind of iffy, which is I'm going to start with the iffy one first. And the first one would be Black and White 2 were technically already remakes. So here's what I'm trying to say. Second versions of the games are technically in the word of the sense of the word is a remake. You're remaking the game, but in a different light. And Black and White 2 does it the best compared to like most other remakes, where in Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's basically just the same game with the extra features. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, it's the same game with Mega Evolutions. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, you guys know how that went. And Legends Arceus it's not even a remake really. It's just a new entire game. So Black and White 2 is technically a different, like a new game. You're not using the same characters. There's the same starter, same gym leaders, but the Pokemon are different for some of it. So that's why I think they didn't want to do a Black and White remake, because they already did Black and White 2. And when I'm going to mention something else later on why they also didn't want to do it. But that's why I think they went away from the remake. So where they could have gone is the Legends CA route, or the Legends Arceus route, where they didn't remake the game, they just made a new game based on the concepts. But yeah, my number 2 point. Black and White 2 have some of the lowest selling main series Pokemon games to date. So if you look at here, Black and White, I didn't include every number here, but if you look at X and Y, 16,000. Black and White is the lowest first series. So like, say Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Diamond, Pearl first, Red, Blue, and Red, Green, and Blue, Red, and Green are first. If you see X and Y, Sun and Moon, Ruby and Sapphire, then Black and White. Black and White is the least sold out of the main ones. I could say that it did better than some of the remakes, which is Black and White 2, did better than Platinum, Emerald, and Crystal, but did worse than Ultra Sun, Fire Red, Heart Gold, and Omega Ruby. So by Pokemon's numbers, these were like the least popular games. And you can see that this may have been one of the reasons they went away from Black and White 2, because it wasn't something okay, of course Pokemon's gonna be profitable. Their games are their least important thing. But Black and White, if I can find something about Black and White merchandise sales, let me see if that will help. Okay, so unfortunately I couldn't find anything specifically do with merch sales, but I can assume that Black and White has the least merchandisable Pokemon. Like, think of like popular Pokemon off my head. What do you think from Gen 5? There's not really much. It's like Darmanitan maybe. There's like Keldeo, but there's no staples. Like Gen 4 Gen 4 starters are staples. Gen 4 has some of the best legendaries. Gen 3 has some of the best legendaries. Gen 5 starters are known to be the least memorable and the least used, least liked. So I wouldn't be surprised if their merch. So merch, I'm including clothing, I'm including card game, I'm including plushies. So as you can see, I have no Gen 5 plushies, right? Yeah, I have no Gen 5 plushies. That I'm the average fan. I'm not gonna buy too many of these, even though that's a lot. But Gen 5 doesn't have that many. So Pokemon is looking at that stuff as well when they're making their games, because they're not just a game company. Just remember that Pokemon is just not a game company. It is a merchandising company. So, and they make 99. Nah. And let me just put the number. 80% of their profits are from their merchandise. So if they won't get merchandise, they won't buy it. Gen 6, however, has Mega Evolutions, and that helped It's like, if I can go back to the number, X and Y was the most well, this is not including all the numbers, but I'm assuming this is not including like Switch games and red and blue. It's like it's one of the highest. Basically, it's one of the highest. That's what I'm gonna say, and that says a lot. All right, number 3. The time Gen 5 Gen 5 now is known to be one of the best Pokemon games, fan base wise. One of the best Pokemon games. People love it. That was not always the case. If you were a Pokemon fan back when Black and White was released, there was so much hate towards this game. People did not like it. People didn't like it for a while. It's only been recently, for the past, like, I say 3-4 years, that Pokemon Black and White, say Gen 5 has gotten its love. I don't know why. I mean, if you're like a diehard fan, I get why you didn't like these games, because the older Pokemon did not return. But when I go into a Pokemon game, I always go for the game itself. I don't think about anything else. I just go for the game itself, and those were my favorite games. I love going into Pokemon, looking for new mons, and catching those new mons. And I've always, until this day, I'm like that. Like, if I'm playing a new game, I always play with the new mons. I never play with the returning mons. So I don't know why this was a big thing. And what Black and White also did is it went very story heavy in this game. Like, compared to Diamond and Pearl, yes, Team Galactic was the main part, but like it didn't really dive into it until we got to the Arceus part. Sorry. Until we got to the Dialga Palkia Giratina part. Gen 3, it was around the game, but it was like mainly at the end. With Black and White, the story was going on through the whole game. Like, right when the beginning, you meet N, and then a couple gyms later, they destroy some of the region, and yada yada yada, and like it continues on throughout the whole game, and it's very story heavy, and it has the best story in any Pokemon game, period. But people didn't like it based on the sales, right? So, unfortunately, as you've seen, since then, Pokemon has gone away from heavy story elements. And maybe Scarlet and Violet, where it went deep into it in its DLCs, but Sword and Shield, it was basically nothing. X and I, there was basically nothing. I could say Sun and Moon had some story elements to it, but you know. But I still think, finally, this is not why they skipped it. I still think there's a chance there might be a Gen 5 game this year. The only reason, I'm gonna say this most likely not, because the second DLC of Scarlet and Violet was the Gen 5 game. If you got it, like, there's the Gen 5 music, there was Gen 5 Pokemon, there's Gen 5 references. So that's probably why they probably thought, we'll give them the Gen 5 game this year, and then next year we're gonna give them the Gen 6 game, and they'll be happy. Clearly or not. I mean, actually, I'm being biased. 95% of the people are very happy that Gen 6 got announced. I am part of that 95, but I'm also part of the 5, if that makes any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. But keep your hopes up. I think Gen 5, there's still a chance for a release this year. Maybe like a BDSP type Pokemon game, which I'll take. As long as it's not Pokemon and a Game Freak releasing it, I'm fine. But that's all I really have to say. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Smack that like button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.